Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's up? I want to come at you today with some frequently asked questions that I normally get about Bitcoin. That way you have some more knowledge and add some more tools to your belt during this Bitcoin bear market to get you a little bit more fired up or kind of just more familiar with the space. So the first question, basically, always asked is, what is Bitcoin? Well, in simple terms, Bitcoin is just a computer network, much like the internet. It's just software, much like your phone or an operating system, right? I always like to tell people that Bitcoin is different for everybody because everybody's going to use it differently. A lot of people use it differently now, but in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there's going to be a lot of different things, applications built on top of the Bitcoin network, much like you see the internet has today. That's going to change what people use it for. What I tell people Bitcoin is just software. At the end of the day, it's just software. But higher than that, Bitcoin is money. Bitcoin is digital gold, Bitcoin is savings, Bitcoin is investment, Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin represents all of those things to me, but to explain it to you very simply, it's just software. It's something, it's a piece of code that was written, it's speech, and it was written by somebody named Satoshi Nakamoto. That's another question, who invented Bitcoin? We'll get there next. But it's just like your phone. It's just a software. So when the core developers are working on Bitcoin, they implement certain changes. They try to find bugs if they're in the system. And it's a really big process to kind of dive into that. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is just code. It's speech. It's freedom. It's money. And it's software. So just think about it like that for now. Now, back to the Satoshi remark, where who invented Bitcoin? Well, we don't really know. Satoshi Nakamoto is the name that was used for the creator of Bitcoin. Now, it's a pseudonymous name, so it may be a male, it may be a female, it may be a group of people kind of working as a team. My personal perspective, I do think that the creator Satoshi had help building it. Of course, I mean, I've read all of the Bitcoin talk forums, I've read certain of his emails, but I do think the mastermind behind the entire invention was one person. I do believe that person to be a male. I also do believe that person to be very fluent and basically perfect at English, as there's never been a spelling grammar or spelling error that he has ever made. A lot of double spaces after every single period. He's got a double space. That's a little bit too in-depth, but we don't know, and probably will never know. And that is one of the coolest things about Bitcoin, is that just like geometry, you don't need to know who invented geometry or figured geometry out to know that it works and that it's real. Right? So I definitely think one of the best things that happened was Satoshi actually leaving the project. And whether he's still alive right now is a completely different topic, but the project really needed Satoshi to move away from it to thrive and to make it really more decentralized, which is exactly what his envision was. Now, another question that I get all the time, and this will be the last question just because I want to make this video short. And by the way, guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Again, this is Hyperbitcoinization. My name is Spike, and my whole goal through this channel is just to educate you guys to make you feel more comfortable, like I said. But who controls the Bitcoin network? Nobody. Simple answer is nobody. Not a company, there's not a person, there's not a CEO, there's no phone call you can make to call them and say, hey, do this or do that. Nobody controls the network. If you want to dive a little bit deeper, you can say that the miners control the network, because what the miners do is they basically validate the network. They validate the transactions that are happening within the ecosystem, making sure that they're either accurate or inaccurate. The miners talk to each other. They're all basically just gambling to figure out a really hard math problem to win a reward of Bitcoin if they figure that problem out. And if you want to even dive more deep into who controls Bitcoin, you can say that it's the core developers. So there are certain core developers, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, who focus and update the network, just like how your phone gets an update. They find bugs, they kind of tweak it a little bit, and there's a lot of big main things that they can't touch, but there are certain aspects of the code or the network that they do want to update and create or build layers on top of to make it faster, and stuff like that. So, simple version. Hey, if this was informal for you guys, if this was brought you any value, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. That'll help me out a lot. Hopefully everybody's having an awesome day. I'll check back in on the next one, guys. But definitely comment below if I taught you something new. And also comment below if you have any ideas for future videos, guys. Thanks. Peace out.